Last time we were able to start working on ggplot2 as a data visualization tool. To summarize, we said that ggplot2 is based on the grammar of graphics which Leyland Wilkinson developed in 2005. It tells us that in order to develop graphics, in order to develop plots or graphs, we use layerings, and the components of the layers, the three main components of the layers are the data itself, a static mapping which gives us where we specify the X and Y positioning, the color, the shape, the size of the variables and others. And then of course the geometric object. Okay, these three are important components in order to come up with a geometric plot, okay? A plot of the data. And this comes from a concept that the plots can be generated by layering, creating layers upon layers. There are other components, for example, facet, position, coordinates, etc., which we're going to have examples of later. Now, we said that we're going to focus in this subject plotting the 5 main graphs, but we'll venture later on after this into other more complex, more complicated plots. So we looked at scatter plots last time, and we're going to continue our discussion on it now. So we're going to make use of the NYC Flights package, NYC Flights 13 package, which gives us 5 data sets. Okay, so first we made use of the flights data set. So if you haven't loaded this, kindly make sure that it's loaded. Okay, we'll have different objects here because I used this morning with another subject. So let's view this. So this is your flights data set. We said that there are 19 variables here, 14 of which are numeric, 4 are character, and 1 is time series, date and time. There are 336,000 plus observations in this data frame. Okay, so we said that the variables are this one, 19 all in all, and head allows us to see the first 6. Unless you define, for example, you define only the first 5, then it will give us the first 5 rows. Okay, so here are the first 5 rows. Okay. All right. So we said that it's important when we do data analysis, of course, that we have to understand the data. Okay, one way to understand the data frame is by getting the structure. Okay, so here you're defined what type of data structure it is. It's a table or it's a data table. Okay, it's combining the features of a data frame and a table. We say that a table is quite different from a data frame. It has its advantages and a bit of disadvantage also, but more of the advantages. So here we're given that these are the variables. Some are integer, some are numeric, which means that they can carry on decimal places. Some are character. Okay. So another way to do the structure is the glimpse function that's found in dplyr. Okay, it will just give you the same output. Only I find this more orderly. Okay, I prefer the glimpse as compared to the structure. Structure is from base R. You don't have to upload any or require any package because it's already there when you open an R. While on the other hand, glimpse, you have to install the dplyr first. I mean, require the dplyr. Okay, so we can also make use of skim, the skim function from skimr, in order to generate some descriptive statistics. So let's just quickly run this. All right, here is the skim report. So first, you're given a summary. You're given the name of your data, of your table or data frame, number of rows, number of columns, then a summary of the data types, 4 characters, 14 numeric, and 1 POSIX city, which means it's a time series, date and time. Okay, and then we have some details about your character, also your numeric. For example, for the numeric, you're given the missing values, you're given the average, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum value, that's your P sub O. P25 is your first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, maximum value, and a slide and a picture of your histogram. So you can see the distribution of your data. Okay, and also you have your information about your the variable that's date and time, which is time R. Okay, so let's now look at the use of we'll now create ggplots, guys. So we're going to use the NYC flights. In the NYC flights 13, there's an object, there's a deep table there called flights. Okay, so we have already accessed this. So it's already present here. Okay, and then first we're going to learn how to subset data from your main data, which is flights. And we said that we used last time the pipe operator percentage greater than percentage, which came from the Magritte R, okay, which is used also in dplyr. So we created an object called Alaska Flights, and then it's coming from, we're assigning the name Alaska Flights. This is your assignment operator from the object flights, and then we filter. So the function filter in dplyr is used to subset rows. So pag nagsasubset lang tayo ng rows, nagbabawas tayo ng rows, tapos hindi nababawasan yung columns. The columns remain the same. So sabi natin, filter lang si carrier. Okay? Filter si carrier. Tapos is equal to AS. Si AS lang yung isasama natin. If you take a look at our data frame, our table, let me move this. Sabi natin may carrier dyan, ano? Yung pangalan yung symbol ng airline. So may AS dito. May AS dito. So we run this, guys, and then let's look at the heads and the tails of the object that we created. This is a very useful tool para makita natin yung object na na-create natin kung tama ba siya. Okay, so let's run this quickly. Run. Okay, so yung head natin dito, pag wala tayong sinabi, first 6 elements yan. If you can see, guys, first elements natin, unfortunately, hindi natin makita si carrier. Ito pala, sorry. Ito si carrier, no? Lahat AS. Tapos dito, lahat AS din. So, we're correct. Tama tayo. And then, andito na yan si Alaska Flights. Open natin. So from the 336,000 observations, you only have 714 observations here. So we were able to successfully and quickly subset our flights data frame and then create another object, Alaska Flights, consisting of all carriers that are only AS. Okay, so far clear ba yun, guys? Any questions? Kung clear, guys, paki-chat na lang. Yes, so that I know you understand. Review lang to ng last session. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated. I'd just like to be assured that I'm not going too fast or I'm not going too slow or na naiintindihan niyo yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay. So just reminder, guys, yung shortcut ng percentage greater than percentage is Control-Shift-M or Command-Shift-M sa Mac. Okay. So last time we started plotting scatter plots. So saan ginagamit si scatter plots, guys? Ginagamit si scatter plots pag yung pinaplot natin parehong numerical. Okay? Numerical, preferably numerical data, guys, na walang sequencing. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya time series. Kasi pag time series, numerical din yung data natin. Technically, it's more of a date, no? May sequence siya. Kunyari, January 1, January 2, January 3, January 4, may sequence yun. Pag gano'n, guys, hindi scatter plot ang maganda doon. It's more of a line graph yung susunod natin. Pag yung data natin is numerical, pareho numerical, then wala siyang sequencing, wala siyang time element, then it's best to use a scatter plot. Siya yung pinaka mas ginagamit. Okay, let's take a look at this. We started with the basic ggplot. Okay, see, ito yung ano natin. Ito yung pinaka function natin, ggplot. And then we have to identify the data and the mapping, static mapping. Okay, so these are the first two components. Sabi natin, kung wala tong first two components na to, hindi tayo makakapag-plot. Okay, sabi natin, data is equal to and mapping is equal to aesthetics. Dito linalagay natin kung ano yung x-axis, kung ano yung y-axis. Ang linalagay natin sa x-axis dito sa plot na to is our departure delay. Ang y naman natin is our arrival delay. So we said that this can also be plotted without having to identify data and without having to identify mapping. Kasi alam na ni ano yan, pag ggplot, alam ni R na yung una dyan data, yung pangalawa yung mapping. Okay? Or can be, pwede rin guys na, we can also do this. Okay, we can also do this. Control C, Control V. So walang data, walang mapping, tas walang X. Wala din X at saka Y. Okay, they're the same guys. No? Yung tatlong yan. We're not defining the X, we're not defining the Y kasi alam ni R na kapag nag-aesthetic yan, ang una talaga dyan yung X, yung pangalawa yung Y. Okay, so these are just the same. So last time we plotted the first one or the second one or the third one, it will give us the same. So i-plot naman natin tong third. Control Enter. I go to the end of the line and then Control Enter. So what we get guys is an empty plot. Meron tayong y-axis arrival delay, meron tayong departure delay, meron tayong canvas dito. May canvas tayo. But wala pang plot kasi hindi pa natin dinidefine yung third component natin, yung object, yung geometric object. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so we're going to plot ggplot. Andito yung data natin, andito yung mapping natin. Ang mapping natin, yung aesthetic natin, si x is equal to, y is equal to, and then plus natin, plus. It should be at the end of the line, guys. Huwag ilalagay yung plus at the beginning of the line kasi mag-error tayo. And then, in order to generate scatter plot, we use geom point. Okay? Geom point. Pag binahan ko natin to guys dito, ang gagawin ni R, kung ano man yung minapping natin dito guys, yun ang susundan niya dito. Kasi when we put it here under the main function natin ng ggplot, yung mapping dito, whatever is found here, yun ang makikita guys dun sa lahat ng mga layers na pwede natin ilagay dito. Pwede pa kasi tayo magdagdag ng layers, so pwede pa tayo mag-plus dito, plus another layer, plus ulit another layer, etc. We'll have the examples of that as we go on. So when we run this, okay, yun ang plot natin. Ito. Okay, and you can see that there's a concentration of the data, yung density ng data, more on yung before 0 dun sa departure delay, and before 0 dun sa less than 0 dun sa arrival delay. And then we answered this question last time. Ano ibig sabihin yan, guys? Anyone, please? What's the meaning of yung concentration ng data natin nasa below 0 dun sa arrival delay at sa departure delay? Anyone, please? Anyone would like to explain what this means? Chat or just voice out? Any guess? Ibig sabihin, guys, Negative
Early
yung,
po yung mga flights.
yes, okay, mga flights and yes,
Some have delay lang po.
lahat to mga flights, no? Mga flights.
Majority are early po, sir,
Okay,
yung
correct.
departure.
Yeah, thank you. Positive relationship. Kaya ang ibig sabihin itong concentration dito, majority of the flights have negative delays. Ibig sabihin ng negative delays, ibig sabihin hindi na delay. In fact, negative yung delay, ibig sabihin departed on ahead of time. Tapos arrival delay, arrived ahead of time. Okay? So yung iba naman 00, ibig sabihin on time yung flight. Tapos sabi din ni Inigo, what we can say about this is that there's a positive relationship between them. Ibig sabihin, pag tumataas si departure delay, habang tumataas siya, tumataas din si arrival delay. So positive relationship. Pag bumaba yung departure delay, bababa din yung arrival delay. That's what we mean by positive relationship. On the other hand, a negative relationship means they move in opposite direction. When one variable is going up, the other one is going down. That's what we mean by positive and negative relationship. Okay, so we answered this. Okay, sabi natin yung nasa 00 cluster, it means that they arrived on time. Okay, okay. Then, you notice guys, if we replace the geom point by geom smooth, may iba yung plot natin. Okay, so this is a different plot. No? It's a different plot. So, the same pa rin yung y-axis at saka x-axis. Kasi globalized yan, andi dito yan sa ggplot natin. No? So, this mapping is for the whole code natin. So, pag kahit magdagdag tayo ng layers, yung mapping natin x at saka y will prevail. Okay, ano bago lang dito yung geom smooth. Okay, so changing the layer ng geometric object natin will change the plot altogether. So nabago yung plot natin. Okay, the problem guys, well hindi naman problem, pero yung nature ng data natin dito, hindi talaga natin makita yung density na to kasi there's overplotting. Ibig sabihin, the data seems to be one on top of the other. So what we can do is, we can, two ways to resolve this is by using transparency through alpha or using a nudge. No? So gawin muna natin to. Sa geom point guys, ilalagay natin na alpha is equal to, this can range from 0 up to 1. Pag 1 guys, walang pinagkaiba din sa original. So the lower the number, guys, the higher is the transparency. So let's try kunyari 0.1. So if we plot this, okay, so ito yung 0.1. So sa 0.1, very nagkaroon ng transparency talaga. No? So makikita natin dito sa area na ito talaga yung density, yung distribution dito around before 1 hour and dito maybe 1, 2, 3 kasi mahaba yung dito sa arrival delay. No? Pero dito sa departure delay, ang concentration dito sa bandang dito. So maybe that's 1 hour or maybe less than 1 hour delay in departure, ibig sabihin ahead of time in departure. Okay, so that's 0.1. But if you increase this, kunyari 0.7, 0.7 siya, you'll see that the plot now, okay, nawala na yung transparency, no? Kasi 0.7 na yan. Pag ginawa natin 0.1 yan, then babalik, parang wala siya na siyang transparency. So let me just put this at 0.1. Okay, so we can see the concentration in this area. Okay. All right. Another way to eliminate or to mitigate or medyo minimize yung ano is a jitter. No? Yung jitter, sabi natin last time, parang sinishake na yung data. It's like nudging the data a bit. And it will depend on the width and the height ng pag-jitter natin. The higher the width and the height of jittering, the more spread out the data will be. In fact, tingnan natin to guys, width 30. So instead of using geom point, we use geom jitter and define the width and the height. So let's run this. Yan. Tingnan nyo guys. Medyo lumayo na siya, no? Kasi kanina yung concentration natin, andi dito lang eh. Nung below zero. Pero ngayon dito, parang nagkaroon na ng concentration dito. Parang gumalaw na. No? Gumalaw yung data natin just to remedy yung ano natin, no? Overplotting natin. But actually guys, this is not anymore a true representation of our data. Parang ginalaw lang natin pero nasobrahan na yung paggalaw nito. And what happens guys if we do geom jitter is the data does not really move. Yung real data, hindi talaga siya gumagalaw. Na-maintain pa rin yung original data. Visual lang yan, no? Visually lang na nagagalaw. So yung 30 is quite high. Lalo kung taasan natin to, kunyari 70. What will happen if we increase the width and the height, no? Sabihin 70 yung galaw. Tingnan nyo guys, oh. Ang layo na, talagang medyo nag-spread out na siya. Above zero dun sa y-axis and really also above zero na, above 50 na nga dito, umabot na dito. Okay? So, walang masyado sigurong value sa atin yan. Ito naman, kung konti, 20, tapos may kasama palang nudging. Okay, so siguro that's a lot better, although may galaw na rin dito, no? Sa greater than zero. Okay, pagliitan natin, kunyari, 5 lang to. Gawin na natin 5. Then run this. Okay, so may konti lang yung ano, no? May konting nudging lang. A bit of nudging. So, kita natin na medyo yung concentration talaga dito sa area to. Okay, any questions guys with the jitter? Any questions with the jitter?
Sir, question lang.
Yes, sige.
So if it changes how the data is represented visually, what is it normally used for?
Ano lang, para makita lang natin yung ano, yung medyo in practice hindi naman talaga. So this is just to show you that you can use geom just to see kung ano talaga yung medyo yung spread ng data. Pero hindi siya masyadong for me it's not really that helpful kasi for me medyo na di-distort no yung ano ng data, yung placement. So it will now give you a wrong conclusion about the distribution. Okay? Para sa akin mas effective or mas useful yung transparency through alpha. Okay? So I'm not sure if others would really find help with this one, with so much help for this one. Ako from my experience hindi masyado. But I just place it here for you to know that there's such a thing as jittering or nudging para medyo lang ma-address ng konti yung overplotting ng data. And besides, pag nag-geom jitter nga tayo, hindi naman talaga na yung original data natin, hindi naman talaga gumagalaw ng gano'n. Okay? Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. For me, again, alpha is more helpful, no? From the perspective of overplotting. Okay. Next, guys, line graphs. So we did the scatter plot. Sabi natin, pag dalawang numerical variables, scatter plot. Pag dalawang numerical variables then, but one is a time series, or it's a time series, or one is plotted against time or date, mas magandang gamitin yung line graphs. Okay, kasi pag line graphs, guys, dali lang guys, let me just silent this phone sandali lang. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Alright, so we were saying that line graphs, mas magandang gamitin kung time series yung plot natin. Ibig sabihin ng time series, guys, yung isang variable natin is time. Okay? Dito 'di ba sa okay, let's use this first, no? Let's access yung weather, the weather data frame. It's also, I think it's also a table. It's coming from yung NYC flights 13 din natin. So let's run this. Data weather. View natin. So this is our weather data frame. Okay, so origin. Tapos dito guys, may time R, no? Ito. May time R data. Okay, and then let's look at the structure, glimpse. Di lang ah. Okay, so yung structure natin, may character tayo, may integer, may double, okay, and may date and time. Yung date and time na yan, guys, that's a series with time, no? And date. So, pag ipa-plot natin tong time R with another variable, quantitative variable, then mas magandang gamitin natin yung line graph, no? Okay, so let's see. So let's create an object called early January weather. Okay, ito yung object natin coming from the weather data frame, and then filter natin. Okay, so ang pag-filter natin, guys, origin natin si EWR, end month is equal to 1, and day is less than 15. So we'd like to create this object na yung origin niya, new work lang, tapos from January 1, January month, 1 up to 15 kasi less than 15 yung day natin. Okay? So let's run this. Let's run this. So early January weather. Ito, no? Para mas madali, i-view na lang natin. I-view. Early. Ay, sorry, not view. Sige, ano lang guys, sorry ha. Click ko na lang to para ma-view natin. Okay, so now we have only 358 entries. Kasi lahat yan, from new work lang yan, EWR, and then lahat from January month hanggang day 15. Okay, so we can head early January weather, and then tail early January weather. Okay, this is a fast way to check, guys, kung tama nga yung data natin. So first, 6 January 1, new work, ba? Last 6 hanggang January 15. January pa rin, January 15, new work pa rin. Okay, so we have this early January weather. We have this data. Clear so far, guys? Clear so far? Paki-chat nga, guys, kung clear. Okay. Sorry? Okay,
Yes,
sige.
sir.
Thank you, thank you. Alright. Pag may questions, guys, I know you ask naman kasi baka just in case na mahiya kayo, huwag kayong mahiya, no? Now, there's another way to write this. Filter pa rin. Kasi yung end, guys, papalitan natin ng comma. So ito mali ito, dapat ano to, less than or equal to 15. Day is less than or equal to 15. Okay, and notice, guys, yung end sign pinalitan ng comma. Kasi pag ganyang comma, babasahin ni Aryan as end. Personally, I prefer this one. Kasi mas clear yung clear na all of these conditions have to be met. Okay, so I'll leave you guys to to run this, but you'll get the same answer. Okay, so punta na tayo dito. So let's plot this. So we have our data. We're going to use yung early January weather. Ang mapping natin, ang x-axis natin guys, yung time R. Diba? May variable tayo na time R which gives us. So balikan natin yun, early January weather. And guys, so, ano ba laman ng time R? 2013, January 1, 1 o'clock. 2013, January 1, 2 o'clock. Okay, so tingnan nyo to guys. Okay, it has a sequence. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Kasi ang ano nito, ang form, year, month, day, and R. YMD, H2 eh. Year, month, day, and R. So may sequence siya. Kung tingnan nyo, no? There's a sequence. It follows a certain sequence. So if we're going to plot time R with any variable here, then quantitative variable dapat, then it's best to use time series. Yeah, a line graph. Okay, so in order to plot a line graph, ang gagamitin natin geom line. Okay, kanina geom point, ngayon geom line. So let's run this. Okay, tingnan to guys, no? Okay. So kita natin yung galaw ng this is ano yung y-axis natin, temperature. We're plotting temperature which is quantitative with time R. And that's okay to plot with line, no? Kasi may sequencing siya. Actually, if we use geom point, no? Tingnan natin guys, mag-insert tayo dito. Insert R. And then, Control C. I-copy lang natin to. Control V. And then let's replace this with point. Okay, geom point. And then run this. Okay. So you can see now that parang apparent pa rin yung ano, no? Di ba yung apparent pa rin, medyo recognizable pa rin yung ano, yung sequencing. But you would not have known that, no? Pag tinignan mo lang yung graph, guys, you would have thought that this is just a random collection of data. Nawala siyang relationship with each other. Okay? Kasi nga hindi natin linine. Okay? Kasi pag nung linine natin, alam natin na may sequencing yan. Kaya ginagawa ng line kasi alam natin na may chronological yan. May chronological logic kung bakit binigyan ng line. Ito, although medyo parang apparent siya na halos, kasi alam natin na ano siya, na sequence siya, no? Kaya medyo naiisip mo yung pattern if you're going to connect the dots. Okay. Pero pag hindi mo alam na time series yan, yan lang nakita mo, then you would not have been led to believe that this is a time series. Okay? So it's important, guys, to understand that if you have a time series data and then you're plotting it, then kailangan, guys, yung time series ang gagamitin. Okay, let's just illustrate that. Naalala yung data dinosaur, yung in-import natin ngayon. Import natin yon, guys. So how do we import that data? Dito sa environment, may import data set tayo, di ba? Click natin to. Okay, so ang ginawa ko doon, CSV, comma separated value. So we use text. No? Text. Pwede natin gamitin doon text. Okay, text. Tapos hanapin nyo kung saan nyo linagay yung yung look for that file. Okay, I'm going to look. It's here in my ggplot2 file. Ito, dinodata.csv. Then makikita nyo to, no? Okay, pause lang ako. Alright, so dinodata yung name. This is important, guys. May heading ba siya? Yes, kasi may X and Y yon. So you have to put here heading. Kasi kung no yan, ang mangyayari, guys, si X and Y magiging part of your data. Hindi na siya header tinaw, nagkaroon dito ng V1, V2. Okay? X and Y will become part of your data, which they are not. No? Kaya, pag linagay ko ditong heading, yun, sila yung heading natin, X and Y. Okay? So, we don't want them to be, di naman sila character. Okay, import natin. Okay, once na in-import natin, andi dyan yan, to. Ayan o, Dino data, let's click this. Yan, X at saka sa Y. Dino data, no? Okay, let's plot this, guys. Let's plot X and Y here using geom line and geom point and geom line. Okay, so I'll put it here. So insert R. Okay, so ano natin, ggplot, open, data is equal to, ano yung data nyo guys? Ano yung data natin? Dino, yan, Dino data. Notice when I type Dino, automatic lalabas yung file na Dino data. Ibig sabihin, naka-load na yan, no? Comma. Okay, sige, i-complete natin para practice. Mapping is equal to aesthetics. Okay, ano yung X natin? X, correct. So I just write X, no? Or you can write X is equal to X. Okay, and then Y is equal to Y. O pwedeng X and Y lang. Okay, sabi nga natin kasi pag hindi natin i-type yung X is equal to, alam ni R na X yung unang natin ilalagay. Alright, and then let's add something here, plus. And then let's do a geom, ano ba, geom line
and point.
Okay, so geom line muna tayo ha. My objective here is to, pag i-plot natin yung isang data na wala naman talagang sequencing, let's see what happens. No? Look at the plot. O, di ba? Ang ginawa niya, kinonect na niya ng mga lines, yung mga data points yan. Eh, wala namang sequencing yan eh. Okay, so you see the folly of using a line. If wala naman sequencing yung data, you get this very ridiculous shape. Okay? So, sige, mag-insert pa tayo dito. Insert natin ulit yung R. Tapos, i-copy natin to. Control-C, Control-V. Control-V para makita natin yung difference. Underscore point. Okay. So, let's plot this. Di ba? Yan yung ano natin. Yan yung plot natin last time. Yung sabi natin, cool, no? It's a dinosaur. Okay? So, clear yung guys, yung distinction ng geom line at saka yung geom point. Kung hindi kailangan guys na walang sequencing, huwag gagamitin yung geom line. Okay? Kung ano lang siya, parang quantitative na hindi naman na it's not a time series, then do not use the geom line. Okay, clear yung guys? Clear? Clear ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige,
sir, pero may question po ako.
Sige, go. Sige.
How can you upload po a data set, or like how can you make a data set po before doing the plots?
How can I upload a data set?
Upload or create a data set po.
Okay, so usually meron na tayong data set na na gustong pag-aralan. Kunyari, yung kanina, yung Dino data natin. If you want to study that, then you prepare that data set.
Sir, pero like, will you put the data set in like Excel muna or like a
ako ang suggestion ko ganon, no?
Note file ba, sir?
Para sa akin, mas madali kung i-Excel file mo siya, tapos i-save mo as CSV. Because when you have an Excel file, you can save it as comma-separated volume, CSV.
Tapos paano po i-upload yung CSV sa RStudio?
Okay. Hindi mo ba inabot to yung kanina? Okay, sige.
I don't think I saw, sir.
Okay, sige. Ulitin ko yun ha. Do you have the Dino data? Were you able to access that?
Sir.
Okay. So alam mo kung saan nakasave yun?
Yes.
Okay, so ang ginawa natin kanina, okay, I'll repeat these instructions, no? I want to load Dino data. tanggalin ko muna si dyno data. Okay, let me just insert this. Okay, RM means I'm going to dyno data. RM means remove, no? Kasi andito na si dyno data ko. Tatanggalin ko muna siya, RM. Okay, wala na si dyno data, no? No more dyno data dun sa, tanggalin ko na to. So I don't have dyno data now. I want to import dyno data. So dito guys, sa environment pane, meron diyang import data set. Ayan, no? Okay, here. Import data set, click nyo yan. Or actually may code guys, ha? Pakita ko sa inyo, ha? Yan. Okay, ito yung click and load method. Yung isa naman code din. Iko-code mo read.csv etc. So here, ang ida-download ko is a CSV file, so text 'yon, hindi siya Excel. If you're going to load from SPSS, from SAS, from Stata, pwede rin 'yon. Okay? So text base, yan. So yung data ko andito hanapin ko siya kung nasaan siya nakasave. Dito siya sa FINSTAD class ko, ggplot. Okay, andito siya sa ito. Dyno data ito. Dynodata.csv. I-click ko lang siya, then open. Okay? Okay, follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then, ayun yung pangalan data, dyno data. And then tingnan, inspect nyo lang ha, kasi may sinasabi dito, is there a heading? Yes, may heading tayo kasi yung data natin may X and Y. Kasi pag nino ko yan guys, as I said a while ago, ito yung data frame natin, no? May X at saka may Y. Pag ino ko to guys, mag-a-assign siya ng name, V1, variable 1, variable 2, then X and Y will become part of your data, which is wrong. No? So ingat lang tayo dito. No? So yes, may heading. Okay, tapos, comma separated file ba to? Or semicolon? Or wala naman? Okay. Decimal, period. Kasi yung, sa Europe guys, ang decimal is comma eh. Okay, so period yan, American system yan.
Sir,
Okay.
question.
Yes.
So if dun sa CSV file, instead of X and Y, nilagay namin temperature and time, will that be the label na rin po?
Yeah, oo, yun ang mag-a-appear dito. No? Temperature
Okay.
and time. Oh, that will appear here. Okay, so mababasa
Yun na
niyo.
rin yung label sa ggplot po.
Yes, oo. Although remember, you can change that, ha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Diba?
Through the coding po, no?
Yeah, through the coding, mapapalitan natin yan. Very, very flexible naman eh. Kung ayaw nyo na magpalit ng doon nyo napalitan sa CSV yung pangalan, di ba?
Yes, sir.
That's one way to go about it, so that you'll just lessen yung number of codes, no? That's one way to go about it. Pero minsan kasi you can download kasi data from the internet, no? So pag dinownload mo, diretso na sa R yun. So wala ka ng chance na na mai-change pa yung name of the variables outside R. So doon ka na mag-change sa R. Okay? Column names lang naman yan or row names, no? Okay? Alright.
Yes
So,
po, sir.
okay, import na natin to, no? Import natin. Okay, when we imported this, nagka-dyno data na tayo. Okay, now let me show you this one. Okay, tingnan nyo dito guys sa console. Okay, take a look at this. Did you type this code?
No po, sir.
No, hindi natin tinype to eh. Pero automatically sa console, yung ginawa natin, yung point and click natin, sinulat niya yung data, yung code dito. So ito yung code na yun. Dyno data, so we created an object called dyno data and then read.csv. Tapos linagay niya kung saan nanggaling yung saan yung address na yun. Which is for me, nasa C siya, nasa users, etc. Ito yung file location nun. Okay? So that's the equivalent coding. Okay? Ito yung equivalent coding ng ginawa natin. Okay, clear yan guys?
Yes, sir. Clear po.
Okay. Alright, so we have that now. Okay, so may dyno data na tayo, So balikan na natin to, yung ginawa natin ngayon. Magkakreate na tayo ng ggplot. So let me just go back again to what we were discussing. So si ggplot, no? ggplot data is equal to dyno data. mapping is equal to aesthetics, Rx is equal to X. So if it was temperature, kunyari, or time, kunyari time, di dapat time ilalagay natin dyan. Kung yun ang pangalan ng natin, ha? Okay? If that was if that was the name. Anyway, guys, kunyari, na-load na natin data na yun. Kung time nga yung pangalan nun, lalabas dito yun. Lalabas dito, pag tinype natin, lalabas dito among the options yun. Okay, so X is equal to X, and then Y is equal to Y. Okay, and then here, we're doing a geom line. Sabi natin, pag yan ang ginamit natin, X and Y are not time series. We'll have a ridiculous plot. Vis-a-vis, guys, kung ang ginamit natin, geom point. Okay, so this is to stress that there's a marked difference between geom point and geom line. Ang ginagamit natin is pag time series geom line. Yan. Okay, geom point. Which is what we plotted in Excel, di ba? Ganyan na ganyan. All right? Any questions, guys? Thank you for that question. Okay, clear so far, guys, up to line graphs? Geom line?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, third graph, guys. Kasi 5 yung natin, no? Histogram. Ang histogram, guys, we use it for a single numerical variable. Unlike yung geom, yung scatter plot natin at saka line graph, dalawa yan, dalawang variable. Pag isa lang, numerical siya, then dapat, ano yan, histogram pwede natin magawa, no? Okay, let's do this. Okay. Yung sa weather natin, no? Yung sa weather, ito. The weather. Okay. Temperature, guys. What type of a data is this? What type of a data is that? Numerical, character, logical? Guys, temperature. Hello?
It's numerical, sir.
Numerical, di ba? Numerical siya. So that's a numerical. Okay, correct. Thank you, Migs. Numerical siya. So can we, guys, can we plot that as a histogram? Pwede ba natin siyang i-histogram?
Yes.
Yes, pwede. Numerical yan, di ba? Single variable. Okay, first let's look at the summary, no? Summary of temperature. So minimum is 10.94, maximum is 100. May isang missing value tayo. First quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and the mean. Smallest value, largest value, ito 10.94, largest value 100.04. Okay. How do the values spread out, guys? How do the values spread out? Okay, so yung range niya is around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, no? And then we can look at the mean at saka median, halos magkapareho sila. Tapos yung 50% ng data natin, okay, yung 50% ng data natin ranges from 39.92 up to 69.98. So sa range na yan, ando dun yung 50% of our data. Okay. So we can now use this for plotting. Okay. ggplot data. Okay. Guys, question lang ha. Sigurado kayo hindi pa natin natapos ito, ha? Hello? Sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Medyo nata-time warp ako kasi baka I might be already repeating too much, no? Okay. So sabi natin, guys, tingnan nyo, aesthetics, X is equal to temp. Isa lang yung pinaplot natin. Only one. Okay? Diba? In fact, guys, sige, plot natin to, plot. And you can see now, a histogram. Yan. So sa y-axis natin yung count, bibilangin. So makikita natin dito guys, yung lowest, yung mga konting frequency lang natin, andi dito, no? So yung 10, konti lang yung dito sa area na to. Okay? Kasi yung count niya, tingnan nyo guys, oh. Maliliit lang siya. Yung medyo malalaking values dito sa area na to. So between 50, mga 60 siguro to, no? Around that, 60. Kasi yung count niya malaki. 1,500, 1,700, malaki siya. Dito din, no? Dito. So that's, here we see that in this range, malalaki yung frequency, yung number ng temperature. Maliit lang dito sa mga upwards up to 100, maiinit na to. Ito naman malalamig, no? So mas marami guys dito sa temperature recording, mas marami dito sa around mga 60, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so that's your histogram. What do you plot in the histogram? Isang numerical data. Pwede ba guys, hindi na natin sabihin tong x is equal to? Pwede. Pwede yan. Kasi remember, pag aesthetics, alam kagad ni R na ang una dyan x. So let's plot that. Okay, you have the same, no? You have the same. Okay, clear guys? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ano sabi sa atin dito? May warning na sinabi. Stat binary using bins 30. Ang ibig sabihin guys, dinefault yan ni nag-default si nag-default si R na 30 bins yung ginawa niya. Ano yung 30 bins? Parang 30 containers. If you count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 30 lahat yan. 30 containers. So, grinop niya yung mga data into 30 containers. Tapos, binilang niya, kunyari, from 10.94, kasi yung una, the lowest is 10.94. So, siguro nag-start siya sa 10 up to, I don't know. So, dinivide niya yung range na yan. Dinivide niya. And then, kung saan pumapasok yung temperature, guys, doon niya pinapasok sa container na yon. Okay, so 30 containers. And binilang niya kung ilan yung incidence ng ganun yung temperature. Kaya andito yung count niya. Clear so far, guys? Now, what will happen if you, pag nagkama kayo dyan, guys, ano mangyayari? Wala dito. Meron dito. Babasahin, tinan nyo guys, aesthetic, ano daw? X, Y. Right, guys? Tama? Ayan, no? X, Y. So, walang X, guys. Babasahin niya yan as Y. Plot natin. Tinan nyo, guys. So, sabay niya, plinat. Yung temperature. Nasa X yung count. Okay, clear so far? Hello, clear so far?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Balik natin guys sa X kasi that's what we want. Okay, so sabi natin, sinagutan natin to, yung bins, 30, default yan. Okay, tapos may comment pa doon na one row removed kasi NA. No? Hindi kasi pwedeng i-plot yung histogram kung may missing value. So tinanggal niya yung missing value na yan. Okay, then we can modify this. Okay, we can put color to your histogram. So tingnan nyo to, color is equal to white. Ganun pa rin yung natin, yung base. No? So if we run this, okay, you'll notice that ano yung color? Yung color guys, hindi yung fill. Ang color yung border. Di ba? Okay. So which is better guys? Yung may borderline na color o itong wala? Ito.
Sure yung meron.
Yeah, di ba? Mas maganda. So you just added this layer from the Geom histogram. Linagay lang natin to na yung color is equal to white. Then nag-improve na yung natin, yung plot natin. So it's more distinct. Kita natin yung segregation ng mga bins. No? Okay. If you want to change the fill, guys, you use fill. Ito yon. Fill is equal to steel blue. Let's run this. Okay, there you are. Yan. Okay? So, nabago natin yung fill. Okay. You can also adjust the bins, yung containers natin. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So pareho pa rin yung ano natin, yung ggplot. And then geom histogram, bins is equal to 40, then color is equal to white. Remember guys, pag color, ano yung ano nito? Yung color, yung border, no? Let's see. There. Okay, dinagdagan niya yung bins, naging 40. 40 na yan. Okay, so far clear, guys? Okay, let's answer some questions. What does changing the number of bins from 30 to 40 tell us about the distribution of the temperature? Ano pinapakita sa atin dito? Nagbago ba yung distribution? Not so much, di ba? Andito pa rin talaga yung ano, yung concentration ng data natin. Dito sa bandang ano, nasa ano natin, nasa middle 50%, no? Yung between the first quartile and the third quartile. Doon pa rin talaga yung concentration ng data natin. Tapos dito sa mga extremities, dito sa mga lower at saka higher, wala pa rin masyado. So would you classify the distribution to be symmetric? Yes, quite symmetric, guys. Quite symmetric. So hindi naman, wala namang masyadong tails dito sa dulo. No? Although konting mas maano yung tails dito sa left. No? Mas matataba yung details dito kaysa dito sa right side. Center value, well, kung titingnan natin to, kung igigitna natin, somewhere here, no? Somewhere, approximate natin, kung medyo gagamitin nyo yung kamay, no? Tingnan nyo kung asang gitna niyan. So around 50 plus. Okay, so that's approximately visualizing it. If this data spread out greatly from the center, okay. Yes, from the center siya, no? Kasi nagsuslope na siya dito, pababa. Tapos dito din sa right side, nagsuslope na. So these are just brief descriptions of the description of the data. Of course, there are visual lang kasi yung ginagawa natin. Siyempre may mga measures like yung standard deviation, andyan yung skewness, andyan yung kurtosis, yung mga tinatawag natin na moments, no? Second moment is your standard deviation, third moment is your skewness, and fourth moment is your kurtosis. Now, instead of using bins, you can use the width, guys. Bin width. Yung width naman, ang mini-measure niya, yung kung gaano kalawak, guys, yung bin natin. So if we run this, so ang measure na ano to, 10 to, no? 10 degrees Fahrenheit, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So bakit naging ganun, guys? Kasi ang range natin around 90 eh. So ginawa niyang tagte-10 yung ano, yung width ng bid. So increments to ng 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. So dito ang ginawa, guys, instead of identifying the bin width at the bins, ang ginamit yung 10 yung bin width. Pwede natin liitan to, kunyari tigpa 5 degrees centigrade lang. So mas maraming ano yan, mas maraming bins, di ba? Kasi tigpa 5 lang yung ano natin, yung width ng bins natin. Okay, so you can also increase that. Kunyari tigti 3. Kung tigti 3, so mas nadami yung bin width natin. Okay. So you can identify the histogram by the number of bins or the number of bin width. All right. Okay, next, guys. Ito facet, very important. Kasi ano ba yung faceting? This is another layer. Okay? This is used when you're plotting, visualizing a particular variable. Tapos gusto mong makita yung variable na yon, gusto natin makita how different it is according to another variable. Okay, let me explain that. Tingnan natin yung weather natin. Di ba, andi dito yung temperature natin? Okay? Ano kayang other variable na pwede nagbabago yung temperature natin? What do you think, guys? What other variable can we use in order to see how temperature changes with respect to this other variable? I'll give you a hint, guys. Hindi naman pwedeng year. Kasi isang year lang yan eh.
The months, sir.
Correct, yung month. Pwede natin makita, nagbabago ba yung yung temperature per month? So what we can do is to create a histogram for temperature, pero ifa-facet natin siya by month. Ibig sabihin, mag-histogram si R on a monthly basis. So i-collect na lahat ng January, create a histogram out of that, histogram of temperature. No? So lahat ng month 1, kukunin yung temperature niya, gagawa ng histogram. Lahat ng month 2, temperature niya, gagawa ng histogram. So that's what faceting does. No? So makikita natin yung monthly differences, which is very powerful. So gawin natin to. No? Okay, so again, the same data, weather, mapping natin, x is equal to temperature. Histogram ulit tayo, no? So gamitin natin, anong gusto yung gamitin? Bin width o bins? Guys. Bin width na
Pwede
lang.
natin i-try yung bin.
Sige, bins. Bins ang gusto nyo, sige. So bin is equal to, pareho dito, no? Bins dapat, bins. So bins, hindi bin. Bins is equal to, gawin natin 30. Ganina, sige, 30. Color is equal to white. Gusto nyo lagyan ng ng fill is equal to green. Sige, green. Okay, then take a look at this. May additional layer tayo. Facet wrap tilde month. Okay, so you're telling R, ano ba itong natin? Okay. We're telling R, saan ako may mali ba ako dito? Green. Okay. Tama naman yan. Okay, we're telling our guys to wrap our histogram by month. No? Run natin. Okay. Ang pangit ng green, ayoko. Hindi makita, guys. Red. Ibang green siya. So, okay, sige, better yan, better. Kaya blue. Kung blue naman, okay, sige, para mas maliwanag to. No? Okay, take a look at this, guys. So, ano nangyari? Nag-histogram siya. No? Nag-histogram siya, tapos, anong nangyari? By month na. So, yung numbers dito, guys, na 1 to 12, these are your months. Tapos, per plot here, per group here, ito yung mga temperature, di ba? Okay, dito makikita natin visually yung comparison ni January, May, at saka ito si September. Sa line na to, no? Sa line na to. Of course, you can compare every month, no? Pero tingnan natin si January, guys, mas marami siyang colder days, no? Colder hours. Okay, kaysa kay May. Kay May, mga 50, no? Kay August din, ganun. No? Dito din si February, medyo maliit din. Okay? Ang medyo mataas natin, ito si June, July, no? Asan yung 100 natin? Nakay July yun, no? July, andi dito siya. Okay? So clear tong facet, guys. Facet wrap natin. So you see how very powerful ggplot2 is, no? So i-click ko to. And actually, pwede nating baguhin, guys, yung So i-gawin natin bins to para pareho dun sa taas. Bins is equal to 30. Okay? Tapos, pwede nating ilagay, yung kanina ilang rows yun? 3 rows yun, di ba? Pwede nating gawing 4 na rows. 4 na rows. Okay, naging 4 na rows siya. No? 4 na rows. Then actually, kung gusto niyo yung side by side, let's copy this here. Gawin natin n rows is equal to 12. So parang isang row na lang siya, isang column na lang siya. And then ando dun lahat ng ano. Kaso nga lang, hindi kinakaya ng ano eh, hindi kinakaya ng space ng ano eh. So let me, oops. I'll run it in console, guys. Dito natin siya i-run. Kinopya ko yung code. Tapos gawin natin n row is equal to 12. Sana hindi magtagal kasi kahapon na nagtagal siya eh. Control Enter. Okay, yan. So hindi lang siya mas maganda, no? So kailangan pa natin i-adjust to, but we won't do that now. Kasi pwede namang ma-adjust to eh. We can adjust the width, no? Pwede yon in order to come up with a... Okay, anong advantage nito? Sandali, baka may question, ha? Okay, thank you. Okay, anong advantage itong ganitong plot, guys? Pwede natin i-zoom siya, okay? We can still adjust this actually, but we won't do that now. Makikita natin, guys, yung side by side, ano? Kikita natin si January, medyo talagang dulo yung ano niya, no? Dulo yung temperature. And then ito si July, talagang medyo month 7, medyo maano siya. So this is a one column side by row-wise comparison of your data, no? Okay, any questions with that, guys? Any questions? So doon ko lang siya rinan, guys, sa console. Okay, thank you. Okay. Balik ko lang ng konti. Okay. Alright, so just a few more. Okay, tanggalin ko lang to. Okay, actually hanggang facet na lang, ano? Okay. So we answered this question. What other things do you notice about ang advantage ng faceted plot? Sabi natin, guys, maganda siya kasi makikita natin yung ano, yung changes ng variable natin, which in this case is temperature, against another variable. Tingnan nga natin yung practice natin, guys, weather. Ano kaya pwede natin dito ma-facet, no? Ano kaya pwede natin ma-facet? Tingnan natin by month, no? Ano kaya? Temperature, ano pa? Chat dito, humidity. Sige, tingnan natin, ha. So practice natin, guys, i-plot natin si humidity. Si humidity ipa-plot natin, then ano sa tingin nyo? Will that be isang variable lang yan, si humidity. So histogram yan, di ba? Kasi quantitative to. Okay, so let's do that. And then i-facet natin by month. Okay, so that will be, insert lang tayo dito ng panibagong script. Okay, ng code siya. Copy lang natin to, Control-C, Control-V. And then, okay, anong babaguhin natin dito, guys? Temperature, humid. Humid ba? Is it humid? And humid, yung pangalan ng ano, ng variable natin. Humid, bins 30, facet row natin by month, and n row, sige, 4. Then let's run this. May error ba ako? Yan, okay. Kita natin dito yung humidity, guys, ano? Okay, yung humidity, medyo spread out siya, no? Okay, sa mga months, wala tayong makitang ano, no? Medyo apparent na ano na 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 differences. unlike yung unlike yung temperature. Temperature talagang medyo pag yung January medyo mababa, no? Ito February yung humidity niya talagang medyo spread out across ano. Although may mga times na okay, kasi natin to dito yung matataas nila. Okay? So medyo mas mahirap ano to, no? Pero wala tayong masyadong makita ang pattern dito sa humidity. Okay? Okay, clear so far, guys? Okay, maybe there's one more thing that we can insert here. Mag-insert tayo dito. Okay. Si R, guys, marami siyang data sets na kasama. Okay, yung isa, data, si Iris. Tingnan natin tong data Iris. Tapos i-view na natin diretso. Practice lang tayo ng isang ggplot dito. So this is your Iris data set. Okay, you have your sepal length, sepal width. Parang ano to, yung measurement ng sepal, yung length ng sepal, width ng sepal, tsaka width ng petal. So if you take a look at the summary nito, summary Iris. Okay, we can see that for sepal, yung length niya, you see the range of 4.3 to 7.9, yung width naman 2 to 4.4, etc. No? And then you have three types, setosa, versicolor, virginica. Kaya natin dinownload to kasi pwede natin magawang facet to. No? Take note guys, na pag nagfa-facet tayo, hindi natin pwede i-facet yung quantitative, no? Yung numerical, kasi mahirap i-facet yun kasi hahanap siya ng mga common na numerical. Tapos yung faceting natin, walang meaning yun. Kasi imagine magpa-facet ka ng 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. That does not have any meaning at all. Usual ang fina-facet natin guys, categorical variables or factors. Okay, sige. So, very quickly lang guys, practicein lang natin practicein natin yung okay, so ano yung mga names dito? Names, Iris. Okay, ito yung mga natin, ito yung mga pangalan ng variables natin. Okay, insert R. So let's plot guys, let's plot. Pwede ba tayong gumamit dito ng geom line guys, ng line graph? Pwede? Guys, pwede ba tayong gumamit ng geom line?
Sir, pwede ata. One more.
Bakit? Geom line, sabi natin, pag geom line guys, dapat may time series tayo na data. No? Dito sa data natin, may time ba dito?
Wala po, sir.
Wala. So it makes no sense guys to use a timeline here kasi wala namang sequencing yung data natin. So sige, gawa tayo. ggplot, data natin, Iris, hindi ko nalalagay, data is equal to, then mapping, diretso ng aesthetics. No? I-plot natin kunyari, si sepal length at saka si sepal width. X natin yan. And then si Y, ito na lang. Try lang naman to. Control C, Control V. Okay. Take note, hindi na natin linalagyan ng quotes yung yung variable names kasi alam na ni R na galing sa Iris yan. Okay? And then let's add. Subukan natin guys mag-geom line dito. No? Just to illustrate the point guys na let's illustrate the point na walang isa-isa yung geom line dito kasi hindi naman to sequencing ng data. So let's run this. Okay. So you look at this, kinonnect niya yung mga lines, yung mga plots, eh wala naman eh. Wala naman sequencing yan. Okay, so let's copy this code. Insert. Ito. Insert R. Compare natin kung Control C, Control V. Let's make it GM point. Okay, GM point. Okay, yan. Okay, mas tama yan. No? So you have a plot of the sepal width and the sepal length. No? Okay, wala siyang connection kasi hindi naman siya time series. Okay. Okay so far, guys? Okay so far?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, sige, gawa ulit tayo ng isa. I-facet natin, guys. Pag facet, diba, histogram natin dito. Gawin natin beans is equal to 30 na lang din. Okay. Lagyan natin ng color. Color is equal to white para may may so nakakalimutan ko yung Tapos, mag-facet wrap tayo, guys. Facet wrap, tilde. And then, sino ipa-facet wrap natin? Okay, may mali ba dito, guys? Take note, histogram tayo. So, ano mali dito? What's wrong with this one, guys? Sige, tuloy lang natin.
More than one variable.
Correct. No? Pero sige, try natin kung ano mangyayari. No? Ano pa pwede natin i-facet, guys? Yung categorical variable natin, yung species. Para makita natin ano yung differences. Okay, species. Okay, let's try to see what happens to this plot. Oh, ano nangyari, guys? Error yan. Error. Kasi nag-histogram ka tapos dalawa yung mo, di ba? Dalawa yung variable mo. So isa lang, guys. Okay, so let's draw it along the x-axis. Sepal length lang natin. Sepal length, 30 beans. White yung color ng border nila. At saka facet by series. Tapos, gawin natin n row is equal to 3. Gawin natin 3 rows. No? Para, kasi tatlo yung natin, yung species natin. So let's run this. Yeah. And guys, no? So with that chunk of code, nakita natin yung differences ng pag-plot along the 3 different species, Setosa, versicolor, and Virginia. Nakita natin yung sepal length ni Setosa medyo mas maliit kaysa kay Virginica. No? Si Virginica may malalaking sepal length niya, although may parang outlier dito na isa. Si versicolor medyo gitna lang siya, no? Nasa gitna lang siya. Si Setosa yung medyo mas maliliit na na sepal length.
Sir?
Yes?
So kapag wala yung facet wrap na function, ibig sabihin the histogram will only show the sepal length of everything.
Yes, oo. Lahat yun, no? Hindi niya isa-separate. So tanggalin ko to, Hindi natin ifa-facet, no? Okay, let's run this. Oops, sana ako nagkamali?
Sir, yung plus.
Ay, sorry. Wala dapat plus to. Okay, thank you. You're correct. Run. Okay, so this is just the histogram
Overall.
of lahat. Yeah, lahat pinagsama-sama niya. Walang distinction. Whether it's versicolor, it's Setosa, it's Virginica, no distinction. Okay, clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a few more minutes. Now, next meeting, okay, natapos tayo sa tapos na tayo sa geom point, sa line graph, at saka sa histogram. Pero basic pa lang yan, guys, After this round, after ng Yung last two natin will be itong box plot and bar plots, guys. Box plot and bar plots. Then, ang mangyayari nan guys, mag-advanced ano tayo, no? Mag-advanced ano tayo. Okay, let's take a look at this very quickly now, guys. Very quickly. Saan ginagamit yung box plots? Okay, saan ginagamit yung box plots, guys? Ang box plot, ang pinaplot niya, guys, yung 5-number summary natin. Minimum, maximum, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile. Third quartile. Yun ang pinaplot niya. So therefore, it presupposes, guys, that the box plot dapat ano siya, dapat quantitative yan, no? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng magkaroon ng 5-number summary yung character variable. Okay? So just by looking at this, guys, okay, ito. Meron na naman tayong weather, ano? We have already weather. So let's plot weather. Ang ipa-plot natin, okay, tingnan nyo. Ang ipa-plot natin, guys, si temperature. Tapos sa x-axis si month. Okay? Pwede ba yan? Okay. Plot natin. Okay, anong klase yan? Okay, wala tayong makukuha dyan kasi isa lang yan, no? So that's not the right way to do your bar plot. Okay, so let me just show this. Anong nangyari kasi dyan, guys, si month, anong klase daw siya? Summary. Okay, it's time, guys, ha? Pero can I have this 1 minute, guys? Okay lang ba?
Yes, sir.
Sure kayo? One minute lang, ha? But of course, i-review natin to next time. Just to show you the last. So si month, tingnan nyo, anong klaseng variable si month? Kinompute yung ano niya, yung first, second, third. So ibig sabihin, ginawa tong numeric. Which is wrong kasi gusto natin si month hindi numeric but rather as a character, as a factor. So if you take a look at this code, ang sinasabi dito, si weather daw, yung month, gawin nating factor. Okay? Let's make it as a factor, weather month. Then let's run this. I-glimpse natin. Tingnan natin kung anong nangyari. Glimpse. Take a look at month, guys. Naging factor na siya. It became a factor. Okay, so now we can now plot. Okay, tingnan nyo to, guys. No? Okay, so we can now plot, guys, whether ang mapping natin, ang X natin, yung month, take note that this is no longer quantitative. This is factor. Si Y sa temperature. And then let's use a box plot. So this is the last, guys. There. O, tingnan nyo. Diba? How powerful, guys, no? Inano yung 5-number summaries for each of the month for temperature. So dito kitang-kita natin, no? Si July, siya yung talagang may matataas na na temperature outside the IQR, no? Si January andi dito sa baba. Tapos si May may outlier. So pag-uusapan natin na next time. All right? So I hope you learned something today, guys. Thank you so much. So tatapusin natin to next meeting ito kasi bar plot na lang yan at saka box plot, and then we move on to a new lesson, advanced lesson in ggplot2. Okay? So yung papa-attendance,